Ah! Is how I felt whilst and after watching The Conjuring 2. Because that is some scary shit. Now, The Conjuring 2 is directed by James Wan, who directed the first one and is fast becoming one of my favourite directors ever, especially in recent years, and stars Vera, Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as the Warrens, and it's based on their files, their history of cases, and this one is the Enfield case, which was one of the most publicised supernatural case ever. This film was incredible, absolutely amazing. I have never been so compelled and thrilled by a horror film. The fact that they managed to make it creepy, chilling, scary, jumpy, and still have great character development and an incredible plot with lots of subplots and potentially setting things up for future instalments as well, was just fantastic. I mean, it was amazing. I cannot praise this film more. James Wan, as I said, is fast becoming one of my favourite directors. He is incredible. This film, the direction in this film was just so nuanced and so... it had a very 70s, 80s vibe to it. Some of the shots were really... just made it look and feel like a film made in that era, but with like a modern twist, a modern kind of take on it, and it was just amazing. There's not all that much new in this film, but the way that it's directed makes it feel fresh and doesn't let it stagnate, and it's just... he's incredible, and I really hope they do more Conjuring films because they're amazing. The first one was one of my favourite horror films. I was a little bit let down by the third act, by the climax. Wasn't all that great. This film builds and builds the entire way through and has such a good payoff at the end. The third act is just amazing and really haunting, but is that kind of that good balance between having the horror elements and going that supernatural big kind of showdown type thing. It was just... it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm filming this the day after I watched it, so I saw it last night, and I mean, I did struggle to sleep. I'm not going to lie. I put the telly on just so that there was some light and some noise in the room because I did not enjoy the dark corners in my room. That was not cool. In terms of being a sequel, it's a perfect sequel. It builds on the first film whilst also taking a fresh case, and you don't have to have seen the first film to understand what's happening, but it builds from everything in the first one. The relationship between Ed and Lorraine builds, and you get a bit more backstory on them and their characters. And I mean, I'm blown away by this film. I was expecting something good. I don't think I was expecting this. I don't think I was expecting something this good. The characters also move the story along. They have a personal interest in the case, and so they're not just there for the sake of being there. They don't just make stupid decisions and kind of go against their better judgment. They do it for personal reasons, and you can understand every decision that they make. So the characters really drive the story, and the story itself is compelling as well. The story also makes you doubt what's going on. I haven't read all that much up about the Enfield case, but it keeps you on your toes in terms of... because a big plot point is whether it's a hoax or not, and it really kind of... you see things and you go through different states of mind and conclusions as to what's actually happening throughout the film. Obviously it does take a stance on that, quite a heavy stance on that, but throughout the film it does make you doubt what's happening and makes you doubt yourself, what you would think in that situation. For a horror film, it's so clever. It's so clever. There's a lot of cliches in there, but then they also subvert the cliches. And I mean, he's done a fantastic job on this. It's so good at kind of taking the typical things you'd find in a horror and just flipping them around or doing them and then changing it a few seconds later. And it's just so good. It's so eerie. It's still haunting me. There are bits in there that are just visuals that stick with me, and I don't know if there's a film that has creeped me out that much. I'm kind of going back and forth between points because my mind's everywhere at the moment. I liked it so much. It's just there's so much good with it. But another thing with the direction is that there are long, what appear to be single takes, and they really make it eerie. They're not boring, they're very compelling to watch, and a lot of modern horror films kind of cut away from things and keep jumping about, but this really just takes its time, and there are some long sweeping shots and just long takes in general, and they're really eerie and well done. As I said, they're not boring, they're perfect for the story and perfect for that moment. And there's one in particular with Patrick Wilson in the focus, and then he's kind of talking to a spirit, and that really got to me, that scene. It's really kind of odd. And the child actors as well. Child actors are really good. I usually have massive issues with child actors, but they were really good in this, especially the main girl. I think her name's Janet in the film, but she was really good, so good. She played the role so well, and it was really believable that this stuff was going on and happening to her. If you can't tell, I absolutely love this film so much. I really want to go and see it again. There's a lot of jump scares in there, but they're justified jump scares. They're part of the story and part of what's happening to the character, and you can understand why they're doing these things. Compared to something like Friend Request that just has stupid jump scares for no point, with like a demon jumping at the screen, this has clever jump scares that there's a heavy focus on jump scares at the beginning, but it's justified. You can understand they're getting into the feel of the film, and also the situation. It is a situation that would have that kind of thing, and you can understand the demons and the ghosts kind of doing those things instead of just jumping at the screen like a fool. This film is incredible. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It's, whether you like scary films or not, the story is so compelling that I think anyone can enjoy it, unless you have a heart problem, and then maybe stay away from this one. But all in all, as I always say, all in all, I absolutely adored this film, and I am going to give The Conjuring 2 92 out of 100, which is an A. Fantastic horror film, fantastic film in general. I really hope they do more of these films. There's a lot of source material that they can use, and James Wan is a fantastic director. He's really showing his strengths from the first Conjuring and this Conjuring. I haven't seen the Fast and Furious film that he's directed yet, but I will. Yeah, go and see it. I think it's doing previews at the moment, but there's a lot of previews. I think it is out in the US, but it officially comes out in the UK this Friday, 17th of June, I believe. which shocked me because when I first looked at this film, it was due to come out in the UK in September, so I was so happy when it came out now. As always, thank you so much for watching. If there's any films that you want me to see and review, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of The Conjuring 2. I'm really hoping that everyone loves this film. I can't think of many negatives, so I think it is going to be a unanimously positive feedback film, review, whatever stuff. But yeah, go and see it, and yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Subscribe for more videos. Bye!